Hello, welcome to Thomas Today for Industry webinar. I'm your host, Kathy Ma, and today we're going to talk about how you can search, evaluate, and connect using Thomasnetcom. We have over 88 participants, and I'm seeing a lot of awesome people online. I see a Kathy, great name. Jose, John, hi, Jeff. Let's see, Leonard, Linda, all these great names. So without further ado, let me actually pop over and go through a few basic housekeeping things. Well, by now it's been 18 months since we had our first lockdown, so please appreciate if our Wi-Fi quality drops off. I hope it stays really good. And anytime, if you have any questions, please submit it using the little console Q&A. If you look at my kind of eyeballs, I'm actually looking to the right-hand side sometimes. That's actually where I have all of your questions propping up and a chat box in front of me. I'm doing a total 3-screen projection to make sure I respond to your question. And our legendary Mariah, she has already circulated a copy of today's presentation using Google Deck. If you had any difficulties following along using my screen, you can actually load the Google Deck on a Chrome or any browser you like, and you can follow along. I have to warn you though, I'm a bit of a jazz player, so when I demo the true power of Thomasnet.com, I'm gonna use a slightly different example than what we have already prepared in the deck, but it will be fun, I promise you. So now let's actually introduce ourselves a little bit. Sorry, I have like so many screens. Okay, so who are we? Oh, what's going on? Yes, okay, better now. I'm Kathy. So at Thomas, I am their VP of Platform Growth and Engagement. I came from a media background. I've been working across different Europeans and American companies for the last 15 years. My key passion is to use data to help business guide their decisions. Since I joined Thomas 3 years ago, our mission is really about how manufacturing growth can be growth for all. We've endured together during the whole pandemic, but we've been around for over 123 years. So this presentation is really about how we can help you discover partners and businesses that you can work with, prospect, and collaborate. And formerly, I was a sociologist on Wikipedia. I believe in the power of knowledge and trust. Sadly, the world needs more of both, I think. And I'm really happy to be here today. And allow me to introduce you guys, Mariah. Mariah, over to you.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining, and thanks Kathy. Just a side note, I'm still seeing your cover screen there, Kathy. My name is Mariah Howe. I'm a content marketing specialist here at Thomas, so I help put together things like the webinar you'll be viewing today, surveys, ebooks, and just other educational resources for you. And I'll be kind of floating around in the background here, so if you have any questions or problems, just let me know. Just send me a quick chat in your chat box panel. And on that note, I'll send it back to Kathy. Thanks, guys.
Amazing, Mariah. And did you guys see that she just saved me? Because the whole time I was thinking, you're following along my slides, and she has to remind me. Here's the thing, we introduce ourselves, right? So now Mariah's gonna actually queue up a quick poll, and we'd like to find out a little bit more about you. Can you tell us what's your job function? And I see that there are some questions while we're doing the polls from Brian and Renee. If you go to the GoToWebinar console and you find the chat box, you will see that at 12:51, Mariah actually posted a little comment. And at the bottom of the comment, there's a URL, thomasnet.co with like a weird string. If you click that, you will have access to the dynamic deck. I hope that answered your question. All right, let's see. Where is the chat box? Well, if you find a GoToWebinar control panel, it should be something that hovers on your screen. And you will, at some point under some of the accordion, find the chat box in there. If you still struggle, Renee, Mariah will be off the record helping you out. And Melissa is as well. Right, so let's see, now we have over 86% of you voted. I think we can close the poll. Awesome. Let's share the results. Great. You guys can all see the quick poll answer. So I was actually really excited about the demographic and geographic location of all of you. Just for your information, we have over 700 registration today. A majority of you came from manufacturing, consulting, wholesale, and transportations. I saw a bunch of academics. I used to be an academic, so hello guys. So yeah, without further ado, there's a reason why you're here today, and I want to jump right in. Let's talk about Thomas. You might have heard of us because we've been around for over 123 years. We started as the Thomas Big Green Register. So if you're a manufacturer, you want to find a bearings producer, manufacturer, you get our green book and you find people around you to help you deliver your business briefs. To date, we have a gigantic supplier network in the USA and Canada, and people from around the world come to Thomasnet.com to look for suppliers that can fulfill their capabilities. In addition, we are a bit like Amazon and Shopify combined. So we have an amazing industrial marketing team where they deliver over 600 websites for specific manufacturers that have amazing e-catalogs, and they may actually want to allow engineers to configure, bearings, BIM and CAD files so that they can download to fit those drawings into their blueprint before they decide whether or not they're going to talk to a supplier. Thus, we save thousands of men, women hours in kind of creating that custom solutions. Now, with all the incredible data, we developed a new kind of agency at Thomas called Thomas Industrial Data, where we anonymize all of our data, but review just enough to help you understand real-time supply chain intelligence. As a matter of fact, during the whole COVID-19 crisis, we have been democratizing our data to help governments from around the world and nonprofit understand where all the choke points are, and we're now in collaboration with a lot of influential bodies in order to help manufacturers like you understand how we can protect the future of your business. So that's very exciting. We believe in, advocacy and diversity for all. So who are we? Now, on Thomasnet.com, we have over 1.3 million active registered users, and you are one of them. So I personally actually welcome every single registered users through our email. And now you might have gotten my kind of 6-part series and joined this webinar. Thank you. Or you got referred from a friend and joining this, that's great too. What is interesting is you can see that there are a tremendous amount of amazing companies, Fortune 1000, like awesome brands on Thomasnet.com. But our bread and butter is also all the small and medium businesses, the moms and pops that create economic activities and power up a whole community of inventors and producers. So thank you for your work, right? And the next thing I wanted to talk about is, I think what I learned working at Thomas is most of the people that are using Thomas are 10 times more informed and intelligent than me, because you're either a business owner, an entrepreneur, an engineering designer, procurement manager, MRO, or you might be a salesperson trying to really find the next specific target audience that are interested in very niche and specific industrial products. So now this is important because I think people, when you come onto Thomasnet.com, you don't see the breadth and depth of our platform. So we have 560,000 suppliers from Canada and the United States in our database. And our team, they had the advantage of having the last 123 years in structurally organizing all of these company informations into over 70,000 categories, from alloy to zinc. And as a matter of fact, my story is during the COVID-19 crisis, we were very upset about the state of the world. We sent a digital flare to all the suppliers that are on our platform. Within the first 48 hours, we have 1,600 manufacturers that volunteer to speed up the production and supply chain delivery of critical supplies. And we have, at the end of the day, over 7,000 RFI completed, including distribution of free PPE to orphanages from around the world. So this is a power of our community, and this is a power of our industry. Now, In the old days, I think traditionally, Thomas, is really all about direct spend. Say if you're from a construction company, I see a lot of you registered on our platform, you will see that maybe you will be sourcing for steel as materials, or cement or concrete manufacturers. So those are direct spend, ingredients, material, products that feed into the end product. But these days we start noticing there's a tremendous demand for indirect spend, because we do see a resurgence of manufacturing domestic activities. So from these days onwards, we start to see a lot of sourcing activities around what I already mentioned 25,000 times since you joined, PPE, but also in direct spend and equipment, such as software for collaborative CAD drawing, insurance product, gap finance products. So we actually have an amazing spectrum that covers all industrial sourcing needs. And our suppliers span from OEMs to distributors to custom manufacturers and service companies. And these days I see a lot of logistics and trucking companies on our platform as well, trying to really do some sales outreach, and nice to meet you too. So it all starts with Thomasnet.com. Let's talk about the nerd side of things. I'm actually a social scientist and data scientist, and I love having access to verified fact and data so that I can make my own decision about who I should talk to and work with. For the 560,000 company listed on Thomas, we have incredible structured data that are free for you to use. As long as you're registered on Thomas, you should be, because otherwise I don't see how you can discover this webinar. You have access to all the data that I'm about to share with you. Number one, the location data of the companies that are on our platform, and not just superficial data. For example, where are they registered? Because if you work for a massive company or with a massive company like 3M or Caterpillar, you really want to know their headquarter addresses, the local offices, the location serves, and their shipping radius, right? We have all that kind of meta structure data. Firmographic information is really important, especially if you work in an emerging field. My joke is for CBD related white label products. We went from having maybe 5 suppliers a few years ago to over 200 suppliers. You may want to actually look for a company that is more established, thus you have lower risk in your purchase brief. And there are a lot of passive data points you can use, such as the estimated annual revenue of the company, when were they founded, the number of employees, and more importantly, their capabilities. Are you looking for a distributor, someone who can package, or someone who actually can prototype with you, versus someone who manufacture locally in the United States or Canada? We have all that information. And finally, for those of you who might be design engineers, you may say to me, hey, Kath, I have a very specific procurement brief, and my vendors, they all have to be ISO certified with 9000 ABCD, or, you may work for a Fortune 1000 company to the government, and you say to me, hey, I need to fulfill specific diversity spend goal because it's in our CSR agenda, and I have to reach that goal. We actually have all the structured data, which I'm going to show you exactly how to extract from our platform. So 3 things you can do on Thomas, as already revealed in the presentation headline. You can search, evaluate, and connect on our platform. And remember, I'm going to quiz you at the end of this. So 3 things. How do you search? Well, you say, I use Google every day, but like Google, we have a lot of hidden feature where you can actually apply a lot of advanced filters. You can even save the filters, so you can regularly come back and kind of look at the ocean of changing data to fulfill your developing request. You can use our firmographic data from the previous slides to evaluate, shortlist, and export all those data for free into a CSV file for you to upload it into your system. Or I just like to sort and filter and pivot table everything. You may be someone that's like me, and when you hear about CSV file, you get excited too. And finally, within Thomasnet.com, as your free registered user, you can actually click a green button, request a quote, and you can connect directly with all of our suppliers. So let's start going through our lesson plan 1, 2, 3, search, evaluate, and connect. We're going to start with search. So at this point, what I'm going to do is, I am the kind of person that when I buy a product, I don't read the menu. except IKEA because they're crazy. But let's say, right, I like to see how things actually work. So I am going to share my screen now and show you guys exactly how to source on Thomas. Just going to make it slightly bigger. Okay, I think everyone can see now. Let's say you are building the biggest wind turbine in the United States. We actually have people coming to us doing exactly that. You can actually click bearings as suggested by your search result, and it will load. I swear, whenever I do demo, that extra millisecond feels like 20 minutes. So now I am looking at all the bearing suppliers, and you'd be like, hey, Kath, this looks like a lot of information. Yes, it is. So I'm going to break it down for you. First of all, you actually can limit the number of 1,500 suppliers to suppliers by your state. Let's say, yeah, I am in California. I'm not, but good for you if you are. I think it's sunny over there. So say I'm in Southern California, and I like to just really limit my search result to suppliers near me. And you actually can limit that to those states. And now you can find bearing suppliers within Southern California. Now then you say, hey, Kathy, all I really want is to work with custom manufacturer because I already have the blueprint, I have the CAD file, my wind turbine is so weird that I cannot actually get something off the shelf. Well, we got that covered. So you can just click the custom manufacturer button, and you can see all the search results narrowing from 1,500 to 49. And again, if you are even more particular, and I've spoken to engineers because of COVID-19 and all the shipping disruption, we have created a new origin destination filter that will actually shows you suppliers that are based in the United States. I know we have Canadian and Mexican colleagues on this call. We are looking into introducing new layers of origin destination as well. Stay tuned. We'll make an announcement through our user emails when it's ready for you. So specifically now, we basically saved you maybe 3 days of Google searches in just identifying companies that are of specific origin, that they can make USA made products, and that they're based in Southern California, and they're down to 4 of them. So you can actually pick up the phone, you can click, contact and get in touch with them to see if they can fulfill your briefs. Now, I'm going to clear all the search results and take a quick look, right, to see if there's any question. There's no specific direct questions so far. Yeah, okay, great. Now, you may say, hey, Kathy, I'm the use case that you talk about. I work for government and I have a specific spend goal. And say if you are asked to only source from users with minority ownership of veteran-owned businesses, you actually can check out boxes in terms of 3 types of veteran-owned businesses. So I'm using one of them to make it simple. So now immediately you can see 5 suppliers, small businesses, right? Like founded in 1974, 1986, and 2002, as well as this one is amazing, over 100 years old in Connecticut. So you can support local business, small businesses that are powered by veteran-owned entrepreneurs and more. So there are a lot of different filters that you can use. Now let me swing back to the deck to make sure we cover most of the key points I wanted to address. Yes, so we talk about, okay, another really powerful feature here is allow me to clear all the filters again. Yeah, so let's say when this refreshes, you may be looking for specific roller bearings, and our content supply team, they actually work around the clock in creating fact-based copy to make sure that the search profiles of all of our suppliers has the keywords attached to their capability. So I'm going to scroll down onto the left and just type roller bearings. And remember, there was 1,500 search results, and I'm just going to type roller bearings and see how many fewer response I'm going to get. So now you get around 383 suppliers that are able to do that. Yeah, so I see that Art asked me a question in terms of, is there a filter for made in USA? Yes. So let me scroll down and show you one more time. On the left-hand side, you will see this origin declaration filter. When you check this box, you will get 19 suppliers that specifically told us with a letter and a proof from their end saying that they have the capability to produce products and goods within the United States soil. And I was clarifying that we really want to do that for Mexican and Canadian suppliers at some point too. So watch this space. Right. So Mike asked a really good question. I'm keeping an eye on you, Mike. He's a supplier and he's like, Kathy, this presentation seems like it's for procurement people, for buyers. I am a business owner. I'm a supplier. So how do I connect with buyers? The answer is exactly the way I'm showing you, but if you flip the other direction, if you are BDI, if you are Amazon bearing, and you are actually on the homepage of the category, and I am working for Boeing, looking for new bearings, what's going to happen? Your company will be in front of the buyers, and they can click through your business profile, and they can look at your full catalog. And if you have the capability, you carry the brands, and you have the information they are looking for, they can contact you by either clicking directly to your website, or they may pick up the phone and call you up, or they can also request a quote to ask for more information. Now, we covered the first part on how you can search on Thomasnet.com. Feel free to keep all the great questions coming in. I think there's a lot of interest when I kept an eye on the chat box about the origin declaration. So I'm going to spend 2 minutes in explaining what this is. When we did a lot of user engagement and research, we learned that for the last year and a half, supply chain disruption was a little bit mad, and it would have been an understatement. We have businesses telling us that shipment from China to the West Coast went from $1,600 per container to at times over $16,000. You might be also on the receiving end of all those disruptions. Now, because of that, we also understand that there's a lot more investment from private sector and the government in increasing our infrastructure spend. So what we've done is we started creating an origin declaration metadata point for the users and for the suppliers. If you actually have the capability in serving USA made goods, I would encourage you to click this link. Mariah, please drop it into the chat group for the suppliers out there, in just telling us that you have the capability in USA made goods, and we'll make sure that we structurally organize your supplier search results so you would appear in that filter as well. So that's really is the quick overview on supplier search. In addition, you may see that sometimes there's certain suppliers, they have 3 badges on their profiles. So these are the suppliers that actually have a partnership relationship. They are paid advertisers on Thomasnet.com. What's the difference between that and free lister? So I'll clarify. Any business can list their company on Thomasnet for free. We don't have any kind of walled garden behind who can use Thomasnet.com for you to access our 1.6 million monthly visitors to grow your business. But it costs a lot of money to power over 200 engineers and experts in verifying every single profile to make sure that they actually have the most up-to-date information. And for some of our customers, we provide additional value-added services for their marketing. And I'm going to show you in a bit. As you know, with COVID-19, there's not as much factory visit activities. We have perfected the formula of a video marketing kind of drone-powered video embed for all profiles. And I'm not a salesperson. I'm just telling you, as a buyer, if you actually don't want to drive or fly as much because of all the craziness going on, you actually can go into our our search results and find companies that provide a factory overview. And so for the registered and verified customers, suppliers of Thomas, we add all those e-catalog, e-product lists for those suppliers. But I'll repeat, all manufacturers and suppliers, as long as they a real business, they are registered with a business agency, they can be listed for free on Thomasnet.com, provided that they have a website for us to verify their information. And finally, you may see a special COVID-19 response supplier. And I've already alerted to you that last March, our whole company got together to really activate and democratize all supplier information who could help save lives. And for verified suppliers, we put a badge on their page, and it's been used by FEMA, local state governments, and nonprofits and small businesses all together. So let me actually show you what I mean by, having the video content when you want to do a factory tour search. So using the example that I've already kind of went through, I'm going to repeat the step again because there's a lot of information. So I'm going to type in bearings, and you can see that there are 1,500 manufacturers like what I did today. But you may actually want to see specifically which are the company that actually has a factory tour video attached to it. And we have all these incredible short form factory tour videos where, through the mix of drone footages and our excellent copywriters, you actually can see as a buyer, does this company exist? What kind of machineries they have? And sometimes we even interview the business owners, and you can see that they're working on the CAT files in the office. And so personally, as a nerd, I find it really cool. Again, I'm not marketing what we can do at Thomas. I'm just showing you that as a buyer, if you want to understand the CNC machine capability, you can see it in front of your eyes at the comfort of your room with the tea and coffee that I suggest you make. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to pause for a second. So this really are the coolest feature on what you can do on Thomasnet.com when it comes to searching on Thomas. So that concludes the real first part of how you search on Thomasnet.com. And now I'm going to, as a data scientist, I'm just going to show you the kind of structured data that we talked about a few minutes ago. Within a company profile, there are 4 icons that I want to talk you through, and then I'm going to demo in real life what they look like. So within a company profile of most of the profiles on Thomasnet.com, you will see all the structured data that I kind of told you about, whether or not they have any diversity statuses, whether they have the quality certifications like 9000, 2015, or 2008. Also the compliance and registration. Do they have FDA clean room? ROHS compliance kind of proof is also on the page. So when you see this little icon, it means that we actually uploaded the company's certificate onto Thomas website. So you don't have to fill in 16 other forms if you're looking at 16 other companies. You can click this button and directly download a certificate. And sometimes some companies on different part of their website will tell you that they have specific capability, such as this very specific customer that has the Pressure Equipment Directive EU certificate that you're after. You can actually click through, and this will take you directly to the company website, but not the homepage necessarily. Our content analyst team actually deep link to the web page of the website that mention that specific capability. So that will save you another 20 clicks. In addition, if we can verify a company's capability through, for example, the SBA Small Business Agency Bureau, we will deep link that capability onto the SBA web page of the said company as well, which I'll demo in a bit. And finally, you won't see this often because we always try to verify all information with verifiable sources. But sometimes if we've been told by a supplier on Thomasnet.com that they have specific capability, we will try to verify it, but if self-reported, we'll add the little chat icon. So you also can double check when you call them up and ask them about their capability and do double verification yourself. So let me actually show you a really good example of a specific customer or like a free lister on Thomas. So if we actually know about your business details, you will see that there's all the structured information around the certification capability. And when I click this button, it will actually show me the certification, and you can print, you can right click to download. Our information is your information, and you can see when the certification expire. I'll use one more example when I mentioned that, hey, we deep link the information to the company's website. This is another great example. You go inside and you can see that the pressure equipment directive information is also on their homepage on the footer. So Erica has a really good question. Could we search by HS code? I don't have the immediate answer, but Mariah, can you actually take note of that, and we can email Erica and answer separately? Jason, you're welcome. Do I need to have a website to request a vendor search for a product? No. So for buyers, say we have a lot of entrepreneurs, say you might be making a CBD pet biscuit, because it's really sad when your dogs get really old. Our little T2 is 12 and he's a Jack Russell and he doesn't jump as well anymore. But my point being is, if you're a small business, you might actually not have a website just yet. As a buyer, you can register for free, CBD, and you don't have to have a business website, and you can still access our vast database to procure. We only need the website when you are a business trying to get listed on Thomasnet.com. So, Jose, how do I find shippers, me being a freight broker? So we actually have a lot of incredible advertising products, I think, but also we are working with interesting companies like Uber Freight in creating almost like a freight booking search engines, because a lot of people ask for that. So Mariah and I will take note of your question and we'll follow up separately. Great. Okay, now back to where we were. I showed you how we can evaluate structured company information. And I'm going to walk you through the whole process one more time, because again, on Thomas, you have so much information. So we'll start by, again, this time, maybe I want to look for bearings. And when you're evaluating a company, there are a lot of really interesting data points. And when I was illustrating, I already talked about the fact that you have all these structured data in understanding whether or not this particular company is a distributor or they have the capability in doing custom manufacturing. Let's say you're interested in doing custom manufacturing related work, and you can click through to browse this manufacturer, and you can read, the description about the bearings capability, and then you can scroll down to actually look at the business details of this particular company. So as I mentioned, this company actually say that they have, this is interesting, conflict mineral disclosure. I actually have never heard this before, and I've been here for 3 years. You're learning new structure qualification on a daily basis. So you can then go down and actually look at the website. Usually, let me see. Okay, cookie information. Yeah, usually I normal, oh, right here, certificates. So it takes you to the page where you can access the certificates, and then you can scroll down and actually get access to all the different types of available certificates from the page that we link to for you. So one last demo, I know I'm doing it twice, but I think it's helpful to really kind of get the sense of how awesome this ability to just click, click, click and download things within the same window is. So here we have an example of their certification number. Sometimes you may not see an uploaded image of it being available. That's okay, because you can click the send RFI button and tell the manufacturer that, hey, I'm on your page, but you don't have the uploaded certificate right here on this page. Can you email me? And they will respond. And if they are busy and they're not responding, we always recommend you to also take note of the phone number, because some of the manufacturers, and for you who are in the industry for a while would know, prefer to pick up phone calls than checking their emails. So that's another really interesting quirk that we notice from some of the manufacturers. Now, going back to evaluation, we really kind of covered all the structured data. But now you may say, okay, Kathy, this is great. I am seeing, a list of the suppliers. I like the suppliers that you're showing me. I think this could be a candidate for me to get in touch with. You can actually click Save Supplier or Add to Shortlist. For the purpose of what we're talking about, right? I'm actually doing a bunch of research around bearings, and you can actually name your shortlist however you want. Sometimes, personally, I like to just put the date range in because I forget what I do 3 months ago. My joke is if you're over 35 and you drink daily, your memory is just like not there anymore for short-term memory. Anyway, enough about me. You know enough about me by now. I'm writing 2021 August, and I'm going to type, wind turbine bearing candidates. Save if I'm a procurement person. And I click Save to Shortlist. And you can actually open the shortlist right there and then. And it will show you within this specific shortlist, we have a unique ID for you. It's at the top, and you can view the details. And right now I only have one manufacturer, but I'm gonna save a few more and show you how you can compare suppliers using our structured data. Let's say, going back to where I was, I wanna go back to the results for bearings by clicking the breadcrumb, or you can go by clicking the back button. Let's wait for it to load. Let's see, while I'm waiting for it to load, any other new question? Right, so I'm back to this page, and let's say, yeah, I'm interested in custom manufacturer, so I'm just gonna click and look at the 400 something search results. It will take a few seconds. I will go through it. I may view some factory tours. Oh, this is in Connecticut. I'm in New York State, close to me. Great. So you can actually select up to 5 companies at a time, and you can just add them to your shortlist by clicking the bottom button here, shortlist. So now I'm adding this to the 2021 August wind turbine shortlist. Perfect. And I'll close it, and I'll pop over to the shortlist and refresh it. And you can see now I have 4 suppliers on my list. Now I'm going to show you how I can download all the data for free into an exported format, so you can manipulate the data however you want, or upload it or share that with your colleague in a very accessible format. So you saw that I literally just click, the button in downloading the data, and I'm going to make it bigger because, again, my joke is when you get older, your eyes are not as good anymore. Sometimes I trick people to think that I'm younger than I am, but I'm like squinting everywhere I go. So here you can see the wind turbine bearing candidates that I extracted. Everything you need is here. You get the company name. You have all the firmographic information, including the Thomas profile, their company address, postcode, phone number, whether or not you can access a product catalog on our web page. We even have capability profiles and all of that good stuff. Again, for those of you who want to source some diverse organization, it even breaks down whether or not they have diversity ownership, as well as all the structured certifications that you're after, right? So really good stuff. And we have 2 types of certifications structurally organized here: quality versus other. And again, one thing that I really like, wow, this company is really good with like all these different types of capabilities and quality certification. Sometimes what I like to do sometimes is also just to eyeball employees. So just a heads up with Excel, it does weird, stupid formatting and turn all of our data from, like 5 to 12 into something like date range. You might just need to apply filters, formatting to turn it back into text so you can see the original data. So sales number is fine. It's basically always text number, capability when they're founded, and if they export to other markets. So Teresa asked a really good question. Where is the actual contact person name and information? Here. So I'm going to grab the CPT supplier and click at random, top result for you. The phone number is right here. When you click call supplier, it will review to you. And you may ask, Kathy, why do I have to click one more time? Well, we have to do that because then we know if you're using it, so that we know if we want to move this higher up, lower down, and more prominent. We have an insane team of designers at the background trying to optimize the page to make it work for all of you. Now, we don't usually have the contact person directly, but what you can do is when you click the contact the supplier button, you're actually getting ahead, Teresa. I wonder in school if you're the kind of person that skip a few chapters ahead with your science project. But we actually allow you to click the contact button or request for quote throughout the whole search results and profile of the companies to add the subject of your request. When do you need the response to be answered, your message to them, and you can here upload your NDA in PDF or you know JPEG files, or you can also upload exported CAD and BIM or briefs that you want the suppliers to respond to, enter your contact information, and then you can submit the RFI. Now, the great thing about our platform is you can actually submit 5 to 5 suppliers at a time. So again, I have this example of I've already pre-selected 3 suppliers while I was doing the demo on how to shortlist. You can actually click the request info button at this point, and you will see that we pre-populate the 3 manufacturers, so you can send one brief to 3 companies at a time. Now, one frequently asked question is, Kathy, there are suppliers that I try to send quotes to, but I get an error message. So this feature is enabled for paid customers of Thomasnet.com and not for free lister. However, free listers, you still get the referrals from the company profiles. People can still click the call button to call you directly and actually click the website button to come and access your profile and contact you directly, because the internet is an open thing. We are not calling dip to information. We just organize it and structure it better to help our procurement people find things faster. So actually what is interesting is, let's swing back to this. We talk about how to evaluate companies by the structured information. I've shown you, you can export all the data with 5 suppliers at a time, but I want to emphasize one really important hidden Easter egg. When you see a list of suppliers, say I'm going to go back to Thomasnet.com's homepage, and this time instead of turbine, I might actually type steel, because yeah, you are a multi-conglomerate, and you also need raw material. Let's say now at this moment with your turbine project, you want to actually pick a few more custom manufacturers, or this time you want to pick companies that have specifically informed Thomas that they have the made in the USA capability, and that narrowed it to 20 suppliers. Now you want to add a few more into your comparison and selection process. So I'm going to add 2 more because you can do 5 at a time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these company into my shortlist. Great, you've seen this part, close. But I also can just quickly click the compare button. Once you're in the compare button area, for the information heavy kind of brain types, left brain people on this call, this is great because you can actually scan all the structured data in a very organized way, and you can eyeball, the capability, the products they carry, as well as, the firmographic information in a table. And at this point, you may say, Teresa, yeah, I know. At this point, you may say, okay, I'm really particularly interested in this, manufacturers, because they can do precision balls bearings, which is exactly what I want. You can click the download button, and it will take you to the supplier summary report. And this is really cool. What is cool about it is, sometimes you just want to show your office that you work really hard and you built amazing reports. You're like this awesome researcher, but we kind of did the work for you. If you click the Chicago nuts and bolts, I have to say it carefully, Chicago nuts and bolts. Yes, I said it right. If you want to go into this company and actually really get all the in-depth structured data, you can go into this And you can scroll through and it has all the information, but in a PDF file where you can just flick it over to your engineering team, procurement team, or even if you're doing competitive research. I think it's important to understand the market and what your partners and competitors do, right? You can download all of this and all the certificates, everything you saw. It's in one crazy 15-page document that you're free to download. So I'll repeat how you can get here. When you get to the search result, actually, yes, I click the compare supplier button. You can compare up to 5 suppliers at a time, and it will show you the download button. And once you click the download button, our computers in the background, our server, whatever you call it, our technologies, will then generate the report on the fly for you. Within 30 minutes, you get the report, and you can just click and download the view summary report. Those are two really great tools. In addition, let's actually spend 2 minutes on how it's like when you log on to Thomas, right? So if you're a user, free register users, you can go to your account and you can see all the tools that we have prepared for you. For example, you can look at a record of the RFI you have sent. Now, we often get people asking us, hey, I sent 20 RFIs and I went back into this tab to check whether or not they're sent. I don't see them there. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. We have people using Thomas to spam and prospect, right? That's just normal day to day for any internet business. So we actually have a team of real people verifying for the suppliers whether or not those are vetted RFIs so they don't get spammed. Sometimes, you know, it takes up to a day for those RFIs to get verified and be sent. And once that process is through, your RFI will appear in this outbox. So going back to the evaluation part, I demoed a lot of shortlists. I kept on adding suppliers to different shortlists. And you can see that even though we only allow you to add 5 suppliers in bulk at a time to a shortlist, you actually can add as many suppliers as you want to a list. And once you get to the list of complete directory of what you need, you can then click the download button. And then you actually can get a file, it's loading, of the complete list of manufacturers. And you can keep building it, you can keep coming back, and you can edit and re-extract and re-upload. We always give you a unique file string, so you should see the latest timestamp to how this iterates, yeah? So we have 12 minutes. Let me hurry up and finish up with the best part. Did I say the best part 16 times? Yeah. By the way, if you guys want to find out more about factory tour video, the cost of it is $2,400 a year. Again, I'm not promoting it. A lot of people actually get excited when they see drone videos of their factories and they ask us how they can get it done. So I'm just being very transparent about how it works. Now, we already covered how to select multiple suppliers. We also covered how to compare suppliers and circle back to how you can download the shortlist. Everything is in the companion Google Doc. I want to just, give you the final aspect of the search, evaluate, then connect, the connection part. Because Teresa is being such an excellent student, we already covered how you can click a profile and actually go into the profile and click the green button. Sorry, sometimes they change the color. You can click select and yeah, sorry, let me actually make it bigger because it can be frustrating, isn't it? Like, I feel bad for you guys. My joke is my team here at 16,000 times. My husband said that he get car sick looking at how I share my screen. So this is already me doing my best and like slowing down. So I apologize. So, but remember when you want to request a quote and you create the list of the shortlisted suppliers, all the ways I mentioned are ways you can use to get in touch with the suppliers. You can click the contact button here and the form will load, or you can click through to the suppliers and we don't hold you back. You can click the call supplier button, you get a phone number, click the website, fill in the form on the website, or you can click request a quote button. All those ways are for you to get in touch with the suppliers. But now you say, Kath, okay, I just changed my spend categories. I used to make plastic parts, and now semiconductors manufacturing is really kicking off. And people are asking me to source really weird drawings like this. I don't know what this is. Can you help me? The answer is yes. So within Thomasnet.com, we actually have a really good free service. So I'm dragging this up. Again, going back to the homepage, you can click the Find Supplier button and navigate to Custom Quotes page. On this page, you actually will be asked to just, do three things. Tell us what you're looking for. And we have on staff engineers, mechanical, electrical, civil. I think we even have an aerospace engineer that can look at your brief, and we will recommend up to 5 qualified job shops for you. And this is what the form looks like. It's a little bit more in-depth than the usual request for quotes. It asks you questions such as the processes and services you're interested in fulfilling. And then say if you do CNC or custom fabrication, because I actually saw someone asking a custom manufacturing question. And you can actually really tell us exactly what you're after. Do you have specific state or anything, even down to city level? Then tell us more about the project. Let us know, is this a prototype, real thing, short run? I don't know. Upload your information such as CAT drawing, NDA. If you want us to sign the NDA, we'll do it for you as well. And you can tell us all the additional requirements and capability, as well as supplier preferences, if you have any of the certification preferences. And our engineers will actually supply up to 5 job shop or experts and send it to your inbox completely for free. So that is called the Thomas Custom Quotes service. And so this really, I think, summarizes what Thomasnet.com can do for mostly the users, but actually the suppliers. And for Mike and other suppliers who are like, how can Thomas help us grow our business? There are other webinars actually designed for suppliers as well. But I hope sometimes it's helpful to know how users use the website, so you're completely informed in designing your marketing strategies with Thomas as well. So the 8 aspects of what we can do for you include 560,000 company profiles organized in structured data. And all the data is accessible for you using advanced search filters, and you can compare suppliers in the table. You can save shortlist suppliers, more than one at a time, with unlimited company CSV download. Plus, if you're stuck, you can actually submit custom quotes requests for us. And there are things outside of sourcing that we do for you, so I just want to mention them really briefly. We have really insanely in-depth technical guides for emerging manufacturing technologies, such as back in the days for COVID-19, we kind of really interview people from NIOSH and people who certified ASTM mask on how they're made. But now we also wrote a lot of really amazing content around CBD manufacturing process, like renewable energy, green concrete. So if you have question and topic suggestion, let us know. You may also wonder how you can stay in touch with us. Some of you may already be subscribed to our Thomas Industry Update newsletter. My mother-in-law actually works, she used to work in a Wall Street before she retired as an information scientist. We nerd out, and she said she loves Thomas Industry Update because it's like a great stock picker tool for her. I personally just love staying in touch in terms of what are the latest trends in manufacturing. And finally, yours truly, actually, I'm not a marketer, I am a researcher. So this year we look at 2020 COVID-19 related supply chain impact data. We democratize all those trending source and turn it into a very in-depth state of North American manufacturing report. We also survey over 400 suppliers and learn about what are the biggest pain points, because these reports are useful for us to do advocacy work for manufacturing. We're completely not political. We're just trying to really help people who have the resources to assign the resources to the right space. Feel free to get in touch if you have thoughts, ideas, if you want to collaborate. I'm all ears. And this really is the end, and we have 6 minutes left for questions, and feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. And this is my email address, and Mariah can also answer all of your questions.